The Mann Grandstaff VA hospital in town is named after a local hero. Joe Mann was honored with the Congressional Medal of Honor for his actions, which ultimately took his life. His legacy as a World War II hero stayed alive through his family and beyond. Well, his nephew has now turned those stories into a book. We are joined now by that nephew, Byrne Bennett. Byrne, first off, thank you for joining us. And why don't you start by just telling us the story that you grew up hearing about your uncle?
Well, when I was a young kid, I'd heard that my uncle died in the war, but I didn't really know how he died until I was older. My mom would tell me stories, and I'd kind of piece it together until I was really old enough to understand what he did. He was a paratrooper for the 101st Airborne Division in World War II, and he parachuted into Holland on September 17th, 1944. And during 3 days of battle, he performed heroically. He destroyed an 88 millimeter gun, an ammunition dump. In an exposed position, he killed the enemy one by one until he was wounded 4 times. And after 3 days, he received 5 Purple Hearts, the Bronze Star, and the Medal of Honor for sacrificing his life when he jumped on a grenade to save the lives of his buddies.
It's amazing to hear you explain everything that he did. I'm just kind of curious, what made you want to decide to put pen to paper and write a book about your uncle?
Well, I've been to Holland 6 times. I visited the memorial. He actually has 2 memorials in Holland, one at the place that he died and another one that's been there since 1956, which was unveiled by my grandparents. And after being there 6 times, talking to the people of Holland, I realized that they didn't know who Joe was. They just know what he did based on his Medal of Honor citations. So while being there, I received a lot of questions about what was he like, how did he grow up. So I thought that I would write a book to show what his upbringing was like, what motivated him, the kind of guy he was, so that they would know that he wasn't just a hero, that he's an actual human who grew up and was motivated to just sacrifice his life for others.
I quickly want to read part of what was written about your uncle. This is from the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. It says, quote, "Unable to raise his arms, which were bandaged to his body, he yelled 'grenade' and threw his body over the grenade, and as it exploded, died. His outstanding gallantry above and beyond the call of duty and his magnificent conduct were an everlasting inspiration to his comrades for whom he gave his life." When you hear that, you hear those words, I just wonder your reaction.
Well, it's always emotional for me to hear that, partly because I've been to Holland, like I said, and I've talked to the people who have been liberated because of what he did, and they have not forgotten him. So it brings it to life for me to see that his life really made an impact on those people. He will never be forgotten in Holland, and every September 19th, on the day that he was killed, they have big ceremonies to honor him. So it's kind of nice for me to go over there and to see how they honor him, and wish the same for our people here, that they would honor our heroes in the same way.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of folks that drive by the VA hospital and they know what it's named after. What do you want people to know about your uncle when they drive by that and they see the name there on the sign?
I think I would like people to know that he was just a selfless person. He cared more for others than he cared for himself. And that was kind of evident throughout his whole life, which I've documented in the book, many stories about how he put others above himself. I think he loved his country, he loved his family, he loved his friends, and he loved his buddies that he gave his life for. And I think that his destiny, as my book is entitled A Greater Destiny, I think his destiny is something far beyond that anybody would think a 22-year-old would have.
Yeah, my goodness. I want to ask you about that book. We have just a few seconds left here. For folks who want to read that book, how do they go about getting their hands on a copy of it?
Well, it can be purchased on Amazon, or it can be purchased at joemannbook.com. And it's been well received on Amazon. I've gotten a lot of good reviews. I think people are really happy to see what it's like, because it's not a sad story. It's one of hope and heroism and inspiration.
All right. Byrne Bennett, really appreciate your time. Look forward to reading that book. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.